Hi everyone, welcome to TBPPM Features. In this section, we highlight innovative projects and interesting practices that members of the TBPPM Learning Network are involved in. When we think of tuberculosis, a big challenge for providers as well as for patients is adherence to the long duration of treatment. ZMQ, a technology for development social enterprise, has developed a digital tool called Freedom TB to help patients to take control of their treatment by allowing them to report their adherence from the comfort of their own house. This technology also limits the burden on DOTS providers as the need for treatment supervision is limited. This week, we have with us twin brothers Hilmi Qureshi and Subi Qureshi, the founders and the brain behind ZMQ, briefing us about the innovative project. Thank you so much to both of you for joining today. Could you give us a brief overview of Freedom TB?
So, hello, and first of all, as you rightly said, the ZMQ is a technology for development social enterprise. So we are always on look for domains and areas which are challenging and which are not being addressed in a very conventional way, and how we can reach out to the marginalized, the poor, the patients, the people who do not have access to the mainstream health system. And also with this understanding, when we learned about TB and we saw that, in somewhere around 2005, that as HIV AIDS was taking shape and was spreading all over the world, we realized that maximum number of deaths are happening because as a comorbidity of tuberculosis. So it became, for us, we started looking at tuberculosis. So for our first, we came up with this whole idea how technology can help in designing solutions for communities to combat tuberculosis. So we initially designed some tools that can create awareness through games and learning in schools and different parts. And then we thought that it is high time that we empower communities, especially the patients, so that and knowing the nature of DOTS, which is direct observation, which is a top-down mechanism, how can we empower communities to enable them and empower them to manage their treatment, adherence, and reporting and everything with a bottom-up approach. So with this, we came with the design called active compliance and treatment strategy, where we will provision tools on the ground with the communities and with the patients, and the patient will not have to go to the centers to report their treatment, rather report their treatment using the tools. And we devised a mechanism of video observed therapy, where patient would take their videos of taking medication and report it back to the system. And this we started way back in 2014, and we started with 20 patients in one of the remote villages in Delhi, in Haryana, near Delhi, called Mewat. And we found that, all of a sudden, from a 60% adherence rate, we reached to level of 80% and 90% cure rates. So it changed the whole dynamics, and we thought that this is the way, because the whole design was flawed, that it was top down. So we thought that it is high time, and with the reach of technology in the hands of people, we should empower communities and patients to take control of their treatment. And this is how we came into designing the ACTS model and the toolkits for the patients.
Thank you, Subi. So Hilmi, what inspired this technology? Where did you get this inspiration?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question. As a technology for development organization, we are always on look of finding, any health issue, any critical health concern which is of a global nature. In fact, in 2012, we were doing a program on maternal and child health. It's called MIRA, which has now also grown a lot, and it worked exactly in the same areas and regions, districts, and countries where we have the TB program. And in that program, so it was about prenatal care, postnatal care, working with adolescent girls, and here we realized that there's a big gender inequity when it comes to tuberculosis. We are, so here we were able to find a lot of women who are missing out of, of maternal and child health system just because they had TB, and they had, a lot of psychological and social sufferings and discrimination were happening just because of TB, and they were not able to attend to their routine, health issues on maternal child health. I can give you an example. For example, we have almost 10% of the marriages in the region. They were just broken just because of tuberculosis. There were 18% of the girls in the age of adolescence who were not getting married just because of TB. And they were, almost 25% of the girls, the wives, they were suffering from at the hands of their husband and the in-laws just because of TB. So here we realize that, if we really want to solve the problem of maternal child health, it can't be standalone. It has to be, if you're working in a village, in a community, in a society, we have to look at it very holistically. And then we thought that, I think tuberculosis is equally relevant when we address maternal child health. And then we realized that, yes, there's also something called co-infection of HIV and TB. So it all happened together, and realized that, yes, it is important to address tuberculosis. And we launched this program, Freedom TB, in 2014-15, with, as we mentioned, with just 20 patients, and gradually increase our program. Today, we work in Afghanistan, Uganda, Rwanda, India, and we work in the same districts, same areas where we have both the program, MIRA and tuberculosis together.
What would you say is unique about Freedom TB?
See, first of all, unique about Freedom TB is its model, and second is the technology, simplicity of technology that is integrated into the model. So as we know that, TB is managed through a protocol called DOTS, Direct Observation Treatment Short Course. That is, it is top down in nature, and it is about how the health system is addressing the problem. Whereas active compliance is about making the system active with a bottom-up approach, where we empower communities, put a lot of learning tools. Like we introduced tools like digital comics on tuberculosis in the areas that we were. We introduced learning tools on mobile phones. We introduced community radio programs. We then introduced community level engagement. And then we introduced tools for patients so that they don't need to come on a weekly basis, on a daily basis to the hospital, to the dispensaries or to the providers, but can be provisioned with stock of medicine for 1 month, 2 months, and they report from their own houses, sitting in their own houses, so that this whole load and burden of traveling and communication and going to and fro and losing wages for the poor is removed from the system, so that they are empowered to report. So, and the best way, so what we designed in that toolkit were two very important things. One is, how do we build the behaviors of the patient? So that is a talking toolkit on a mobile phone, which keeps on talking to the patient about what is the importance of daily adherence, why it is important for getting treated, and timely taking of medicines, and understanding complexities of anything. So it is a talking toolkit. On the other side, it is also a toolkit which helps patients to report. So they report through a video-enabled interface, where they click their video of 10 seconds while taking medication and send it to the server, and it is automatically, there is AI enabled, which automatically marks the video that the same person who was supposed to take the medicine has taken the medicine, and thereby he is continuously on this. And at the same time, the toolkit is also monitoring the behavior of the patient. For example, today he has taken medicine and tomorrow he has missed. So we now know that we have to send strong verbal messages to the patient, so that next time he does not falter. Or if he misses, there's a protocol that if he misses for 3 times, then the provider will come to his home. He cannot send his reporting through a video. Provider will come home, or he'll ask him to switch back to DOTS, which will be little punitive in the sense that he'll have to visit the provider every day. So we warn him and tell him that you have to continue. This is the best way for you to continue reporting and be on the same. So it's a win-win for the health system and also for the patient.
Great. Okay. And I'm sure with this wide range of technologies, you would have had a lot of challenges. Can you let me know what are the major challenges that you had?
Yes. I think in the beginning, the very first challenge was, how do we address to the state, to the health department, and say that we want to challenge DOTS, which is direct observation, and now we have something called active compliance, right? So it was very difficult like almost for last 40 years we have a same approach, same strategy called dots. And how can anyone in the world of TB accept that yes, a person can do a remote kind of adherence to adherence to compliance using a mobile phone, right? So it was a big task to convince the state. That's why we started small with 20 patients and then grew to 50 and 100, so as to give them an evidence that yes, it works. Secondly, as we have been focused on the rural areas, which is our core strength, there was a challenge like 5 years back. There was really a challenge that how would every patient have a mobile phone. At the time, we were really lucky that we got a kind of in-kind donation from Nokia, which was at the time dying, and they had brought some kind of a mobile phone, smartphones, and they loaned. So in that case, we used to loan to the patient those mobile phones, and many people told, don't give loan to the mobile phone, don't give them the loan as a phone, because they will never return. But believe me, except one phone was broken. Every time we got all the phones were, they were returned to us after 9 months. And gradually we learned that if if you really hold on to the communities and give the assurance that yes, we are for your saving your life, for them this is the most important thing. But at the same time, we also involved a new strategy called group compliance, where we'll find a TB champion. It can be a champion or it can be a volunteer, in the same family. It can be a family member or someone. And if he or she can work with 4 or 5 different patients at the same time, so that a common phone is used, and we call it group compliance. It was a new strategy, especially if a patient is old who doesn't know how to use a phone. So and every day, every time you get a lot of challenges. But as a social enterprise working on the communities, we know that every time you have a challenge, you have to sit together and see that how can we solve the challenges at the community level. Because it is easy to bring in money, easy to bring in things, but how we have to solve it at the community level, so that it is sustainable and it remains as a continuous program. So like today we have challenges of COVID, and as we talk about that, we'll talk about that as well. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, thank you. So how many users are there currently using the Freedom TB technology?
So as we have been repetitively saying that we started with 20 patients. As of today, we have covered over 12,000 patients who have used or are using a active adherence technologies or ZMQ. So within India, we have, I think, 6,000 plus patients who have used it, and currently we have probably live over 1,500 patients who are using the technology in India. Whereas in Africa, we have another set of 4,000 patients who are using this technology. And at the current moment, we probably in Uganda alone, we are running the program in 5 districts, and we have over 987 patients on active compliance.
Okay, thanks. Hilmi, coming back to the question on the current situation of COVID, how do you think that's taking an impact on the project?
See, COVID is, it is a challenge. It is a new norm now, where gradually everything has to go ML, right? Because even if we have very less doctors, and similarly there is a lot of pressure on community health workers or volunteers. So here what we have done is that here there is a lot in decrease in case findings, because our volunteers can't go home and door to door to find patients. So what we have done is that we have created a lot of billboards, put around 8 to 10 billboards in a district, where we have so it is not interactive. It is everything except it is interactive. It talks very iconically, tells about what are the symptoms, how to identify symptoms, and if you think you have any kind of symptom, please call this number. Our volunteer will come at your place. They'll pick your sputum, and if you are found positive, we'll put you back into treatment, and we'll try to assure that you do it through the video adherence. If you don't have a phone, we're going to provide you a phone as well, because we don't want you to risk out and come to the center to pick medicine. We assure them that we are going to give you medicine for next next 15 days, and if you do it well, then we give it for every month we give you medicine at home so you can do it. So as such we have found some kind of solution, but overall we see this current scenario is really overwhelming, but it is also impacting all the health issues, whether it is maternal child health, whether it is tuberculosis, because everything is getting undermined because of this. And this is slightly worrying and slightly threatening, because we might not be able to achieve our SDGs in 2030 if it really persists, if we don't think that these things are equally important, including COVID.
Thank you. Thank you so much for briefly explaining about Freedom TB. It was really wonderful to hear from you. So do you have any final comments for our community members of the TBPPM Learning Network? If they were going to start on similar project, what would you advise them?
Yeah, the advice is very simple to all the members, that TB is here and we need to keep on fighting it till we are able to eradicate it. And we have to think with a progressive, innovative approach. We can't think that we will be able to solve with traditional ways. We have to keep on thinking in terms of new medicines, new regimens, new technologies for adherence, new processes. So we'll have to continuously, all of us will have to continuously keep thinking with the new about the new approach of solving the problem. And yes, once we have plunged into solving a problem, there is no look back. So the advice to all the members is that if you've decided to plunge into it, then there is no looking back. We have to continuously be part of the problem-solving mission of fighting tuberculosis, and we'll eradicate it. Only yesterday on TV we saw that the wild polio is eradicated from Africa. So yes. Africa is free from wild spread of polio. So if we really work towards the way polio program worked, and we have this the new TB strategy of active management rather than top-down management, that is dots or whatever. It was good then, but now in the new time and scenario, seeing COVID, the new processes are set in place. So we must accelerate and strengthen those processes and continue to be on this path.
See, I'll add one point that, a lot of focus is on basically adherence to treatment, which is right, which is extremely right, because, if you don't get treated, it will turn into MDR and, then XDR, things like that. But I think, we have to also stick to the basics, where we have to think about behavioral change communication, which is very, very essential, because how can we miss out on those things, because these are things which should be integral part of any campaign. It is the starting point of campaign, whether it is tuberculosis or polio or MCH or mental health. So I think behavior change is extremely important, and we have to embed those messages with every campaign. Just not about adherence to treatment and active case finding, and you're going to find more cases if you bring in the behavior change component.
Thank you so much, Hilmi and Subi. It was wonderful to hear from you about this app, about this technology, as well as your views and your suggestions for improving treatment adherence, as well as the behavioral change. Thank you so much for taking time to speak with us today. And stay connected.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, and it was a pleasure talking to you.
Bye. Bye-bye.